Sometimes in football, you are made to wait. You have to wait for that special night. You have season after season, year after year, sometimes decades. Things aren't going right, and you dream of that glory day, even that just glory moment, that glory night where it all comes together for you. Aston Villa beating Bayern Munich 1-0 in the UEFA Champions League is one of those nights for Villa fans. It was, of course, a repeat of the 1982 European Cup final in Rotterdam. It was steeped in history before the game. Villa fans electric. The atmosphere was brilliant. But the result, oh my word, Jhon Duran. Jhon Duran, super sub, super sub, super sub. I mean, the audacity to chip Neuer from that far out with his left foot. Bouncing ball, brilliant ball through. And Neuer loves playing that high line anyway, doesn't he? But to execute it in that stage, in that scenario, unbelievable from the kid. Duran was only on 9 minutes as well. He'd come on for Ollie Watkins in the 70th minute, and just to do that with one of his first touches, unbelievable and incredible. Was, of course, the first European Cup match at Aston Villa for 41 years at Villa Park, and what a way to mark that occasion. And 41 is a hell of a number. 41 group matches Bayern Munich were unbeaten. Yet 41 before turning up at Villa Park tonight. So what Aston Villa have achieved is no mean feat at all. A brilliant win. Vincent Kompany looked absolutely devastated on the side, but Unai Emery has masterminded an unbelievable win for Villa. Bayern were pressing so hard in those last few minutes as well, trying to find the edge. Emi Martinez with two unbelievably wonderful saves. I loved him going down for cramp as well. Absolutely, bring it all on. Got to do it in those scenarios, getting Aston Villa over the line. Harry Kane not doing the business for Bayern Munich tonight. They struggled to create too many chances as Villa defended fairly well. Very different to how Villa have been playing, I think, in the Premier League to have to deal with Bayern tonight. But they always have a threat. I mean, that attacking unit that they've got, the options that they have. Duran potentially could play up front with Watkins at some stage, but then you'd have to drop Morgan Rogers, who's been fantastic. Leon Bailey's been excellent for them. John McGinn. Tielemans is having a stunning season. They're not missing Douglas Luiz at all. All the way through the squad, it's been excellent so far from Aston Villa. 2 wins out of 2 in the Champions League. They'll now be thinking, we've got a real chance here of not just getting through to the next stage, but potentially, maybe finishing that top 8. If you beat Bayern Munich, then Villa will feel that they can take anybody on. So first kind of reaction video I'm doing for the channel here, so bear with me. Just going to look through the formations and the lineups that were played. Manuel Neuer in goal for Bayern Munich, of course, been there forever. Lima at right back, Upamecano, Kim Min-jae and Alphonso Davies, the speedy left back. Joshua Kimmich, one of the best midfielders in Europe. Pavlovic in that centre midfield. Gnabry, Michael Olise, of course, we know well from Crystal Palace for Premier League fans. Kingsley Coman and Harry Kane up front. It's a hell of a team that Bayern Munich have got out there. So not even as if you can sort of say that it was a hit Bayern Munich side. Aston Villa have beaten a very top of the crop. Now, Villa, on the other hand, so Emi Martinez had a fantastic performance, and he always seems to rise in these big games. You see him in Copa America for Argentina. He seems to love it. Some players really thrive on the pressure and big moments, and Emi Martinez is definitely one of them. You kind of can't not love him in a way, I suppose, for that. Defensively, Ezri Konsa out at right back, Diego Carlos, Pau Torres, Luca Dean, Onana and Tielemans have formed a really good centre midfield partnership already. Rogers, as we said, Ramsey, Philogene coming in as well at right wing, and Ollie Watkins leading the line there for Aston Villa. Stats-wise, Bayern lead that 17-5 on the shots. Shots on target 7, and absolutely dominated possession. But Villa kind of got it spot on. Emery knows how to manage these European matches. He's got such pedigree in the European competitions with his wins over the years, particularly in the Europa League. But he can do it too at the Champions League. He really does know what he's doing. Martinez, I think, commented, I saw in the after-match interview, that they'd watched an hour and a half of footage this morning of how high that Neuer sort of stays. So we know that Emery loves to do his research and get that through to his players. And in this case, they've seen something and it's worked. So what do we make of Jhon Duran, this wonderful Colombian 20-year-old? So it's 6 goals now from 9 matches. Most of those have come from the bench. He's only started, I think, the League Cup game. Everything else has been from a substitute appearance. I mean, he's starting to get into legendary substitute status already. We're talking Solskjaer and Divock Origi soon. He's just such a handful. I mean, he's just a worry to come on. At some stage, he's going to have to chuck him in alongside Watkins and see how he does. But you can see why West Ham were really interested in him in the summer. Villa will be absolutely buzzing to have him on their books alongside Ollie Watkins, as I said earlier, such an attacking threat they have all the way through. So he, of course, signed from them a few years back from Chicago Fire. and on the periphery. Played a few games in the Premier League that first season and really did start to hit his motors towards the back end of last season when we noticed these goals coming off the substitute bench. But starting this season on absolute fire, and a goal that he'll probably never forget tonight against Bayern Munich. So this was only the second ever meeting between Villa and Bayern Munich, and both of them have now ended 1-0. So Villa have a perfect record against Bayern Munich, something to shout about on its own. Unai Emery has beaten Bayern Munich on 2 previous occasions as well. He beat them when he was in charge of Paris Saint-Germain in 2017 and Villarreal in 2022. So that's now 3 times for Emery as well in the Champions League over Bayern Munich. So his European pedigree excels even before this match. So next up for Villa, they face Manchester United at the weekend, who of course are in such a pressure moment. Ten Hag under all sorts of pressures. And last thing they'll be wanting is to turn up to an absolute buoyant Aston Villa. And that super striker, we all know his name, Jhon Duran. Thank you for watching the video. Something new I'm trying on here. We're going to try and do a few more of these. If you're enjoying it, subscribe, like, and notify. That'd be I really appreciate it. And say if you love podcasts, I'm on the Absolute Football podcast as well. Check us out on YouTube. Premier League, EFL and National League, and women's football all covered. If not, we'll catch you on the next one.